Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool Western Electric wooden wall crank telephone, and this is Joe's equipment from Oklahoma. And this is the initial checkout of this really cool telephone. And Joe sent in all the extra parts that he had with this telephone. He had some cloth cords, a couple of spit cups, and an old 4-prong plug. Now this telephone has had a lot of work done to it through the years. At one time, someone tried to install a radio or did install a radio, and then at another time, they went ahead and installed a rotary dial off the top of a space saver. So it's had a lot of unique changes made to it through the years. Now the transmitter and the receiver capsule have been upgraded at some point with the parts that you would associate with a space saver telephone that had a headset. And we're going to go ahead and troubleshoot those parts. If they turn out to be good, we're going to try to utilize them. That's what Joe would like to do. We also need to go through the rotary. That needs to be cleaned, oiled, and adjusted, and we want to make sure that our numbers are working properly. We also have a base of a 302 that's installed in the battery box area of this telephone, and that's the network that they were using for the space saver. Now we also need to go through the magneto. When you crank the crank on this telephone, it does not ring the bells. So we also want to troubleshoot our solenoids for the bells, and we want to go through our hook switch. We also need to go into this unit and clean up all of the wiring issues. They have a lot of wires running all over the inside of this telephone from the conversion that it had. So we will be working on everything: the wiring, the hook switch, the magneto, the solenoids, the network, the rotary dial, the transmit, receive. We're also going to replace the receiver capsule cloth cord. We want to install a modular port so Joe can simply bring in any length, any color line cord he chooses and plug right into the modular port. Makes for a simple, easy plug and play connection. We also want to install a circuit that we design and build here at the shop so that you can walk up to this telephone, crank the magneto, ring the original bells, but not backfeed any voltage into the telephone line, but yet when you get a call, the original bells will ring. We're going to do some still pictures of this really cool telephone. We have a lot of work that needs to be done. We'll go ahead and get some more video as we move forward in the repair and conversion of this really cool Western Electric wooden wall crank telephone. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we're in the middle of the process of repairing and converting this really cool wooden wall crank telephone, and we want to show a little bit about what's going on. Now we're troubleshooting the magneto. It's not producing voltage, and so when you crank the magneto, it will not ring the bells. And we want to troubleshoot that issue and make our repairs. And I want to go ahead and show you what the magneto looks like outside the telephone. So that gives you a look at the magneto itself, and then we can show you what happens when you're turning the crank. So we want to go ahead and finish troubleshooting this unit up, and then we'll come back and get some more video as we move forward in the repair and conversion of this really cool telephone. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we are finished up with the repair and conversion of this really cool Western Electric wooden wall crank telephone, and we're ready to start our final checkout. Now, we also want to mention our amplified pickup. We use this in troubleshooting, repairing, and on our final checkouts. It's amplified so that you can hear the audio from a receiver. And we're going to go ahead and set this one to the side because we have a pickup located at the network, and that's where we're going to pick up our audio from. Now, I have an amplifier back by the video. It has a button on it, and when I press the button, I can give dial tone or take it away at any time. And since it's an open amplifier, it is prone to any static interference or noise in the atmosphere. And I'm going to go ahead and press the button on the unit. You may be able to hear a little bit of an electrical hum, and we'll just go ahead and press the button. It's pretty quiet today, so I'm going to release it. Everything was troubleshooted on this telephone. Our transmitter, our receiver, our cloth cord was changed. We also went through the rotary. That was cleaned, oiled, and adjusted and rewired. We installed a card for the dial center ring. It says, "Please wait for dial tone." And this can be adjusted back and forth depending on where the telephone is installed, and so that you can get a good visual when you're dialing out your numbers. We repaired the magneto. We rewired any of the issues on the inside of the telephone that we needed to rewire so that this telephone would work the way we want it to work. We also installed our circuit that allows you to walk up to this telephone, crank the magneto, and ring the original bells, but not backfeed any voltage into the telephone line, and yet when you get a call, your original bells will ring. The bells needed to be adjusted. They were way out of adjustment. The clapper was out of adjustment, so all that was taken care of. So everything that we needed to do to make this telephone work in our repair and conversion was taken care of. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and ring the original bells. So we're going to go ahead and use the magneto, and we'll crank that and ring the bells. Now we want to use the analyzer and send a ring cycle like we were getting a call, and we'll go ahead and start that. We're going to let that go a few times. I'll let it go one more time and we'll give you some dial tone. We want to watch the analyzer because we're going to go ahead and dial our numbers out. You'll watch the numbers roll by. I'm going to end in a 2. Now we've already talked on this telephone, so we know it does transmit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the amplifier on and we'll tap on the transmitter, and that will show that we have transmit. So we have plenty of transmit. Now what we can do is we can go ahead and push the button on the switch box. That gives us a line out, totally takes the analyzer out of the situation, and we'll call a time and temp number. So we'll go ahead and give you some dial tone, and we'll make that call.
Today is Friday, March 17th. The current time, 4:05 p.m. and the temperature, 72 degrees.
We can go ahead and hang up. We'll give you some dial tone and we'll call my number and it'll be busy. We'll make that call. Go ahead and hang our receiver capsule up. Now that we know that this really cool Western Electric wooden wall crank telephone has been repaired and converted, we can return it to Joe and he can enjoy this telephone. I'm sure it's going to look great no matter where it's installed and used. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching and have a great day.